We just talked about money on the last one, and then yeah, I want to dive into more of the business side of things and content creation, which can be pretty related because when we were talking on Instagram, you sounded a lot like how I was too in the journey that I'm going through. So you were saying, and I think a lot of people can relate to this, like it's very, when you build a business, like it feels like it's out of thin air. And you almost feel kind of weird even saying that it is a business in the very
Yeah.
beginning, even though you have to start somewhere.
hmm
How has that been for you? Because I know you're
Well,
saying like project, dare I say business, and I love that because that's how I felt for sure.
yeah, I mean, I'm already privileged and lucky enough that I'm surrounded by entrepreneurs,
Oh yeah.
honestly. My mom has her own business, she's in web developing and everything. So it's not something new to me.
Okay.
It's not something that I'm like, it's not like I'm surrounded by a bunch of 9 to 5 people who are like, oh no, the security of the job and everything.
Oh,
Um, I'm very much encouraged to not partake in having a salary and depending on a company, but instead building your own. And I've actually been wanting to do this for a while. Like I always knew that I couldn't do. I think the only time I had a full 9 to 5 proper job was for 3 months when I had an internship for my degree.
mhm.
And since then, and I had barely lasted. Like on the third day, I was like, I cannot do this for the rest of my life. And that really cemented the belief because up until then, my mom, entrepreneur as she is, was always like, don't fall into the 9 to 5 trap. Like you get complacent with the security it provides and everything. Um, but it's a trap. And so, up until that day where I decided it was not for me, I was like, Mom, like, that's kind of crazy. Like I like the idea of the security.
Mhm.
Realized no amount of money or security can force me to sit at a chair and just give my life away essentially. So I always knew I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I didn't know exactly what my calling would be. And yeah, so I try not to think about it. I tried a bunch of projects over the year. Like I said, I knew I wanted to talk about money since 2023. I just didn't know how to approach it because of the stigma, because of the taboo, because of how people might perceive me and
Mhm.
the ways that I talk about money. Because,
Mhm.
if you're talking to someone who's hardcore into like, oh, you need to live below your means, which is true, but it depends what mindset
Yeah.
you have behind it, but from a scarcity point of view, you have to live below your means. You only get money if you work hard. Like you have to work so hard and work yourself to the bone for money. And if you don't, like, you don't deserve money. You have to be productive. Like all of these like patterns that people have, you cannot go to someone like that and be like, relax, the universe provides. They're gonna look at you like, what are you on? So I kind of grappled with that. I called it like my field research years, where I would like have these conversations with people and just observe how people talk about money, how they behave around it. And yeah, and I came to all these conclusions. And then finally in September, like I said, just kind of like came into my mind and I was like, I have to do this. And since then, I called it a project in the beginning because I wasn't new to projects. I've had multiple projects. I had a podcast, I had a Substack. I've been training for years, just putting my voice out there
Cool.
and talking about things.
Mhm.
But so, yeah, I guess calling it a project kind of took the edge off.
Yeah.
It kind of took, because if it's too serious, I might get stressed out and run away. And
Mhm.
so I call it a project. I wrote out my modules, like people were telling me I should make them into a book, forget a course. And I was like, yes, but also a lot of people need the interactive aspect
True.
of it. So perhaps a book is coming out in the future at some point
I'm sure. Yeah.
when I fine tune all of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I don't know, the whole idea of I guess like in the beginning when you're thinking about the fact that this is gonna maybe someday bring you money and like
Mhm.
become an actual business, and like when you really start thinking about how it might grow and how you might have to scale,
Yeah.
it becomes very overwhelming. And having a website and having like a distribution service for your like freebies or your workshops or even the course, and then the online presence that you have to have, and the marketing and the branding, and like when you put all of it together, it's just very overwhelming.
Yeah.
And I did get overwhelmed. Like I burned out, I guess, after like about a month and a half of trying to plan it all. And then I just told myself I would just take it day by day.
Yeah.
So then like I was signing up with I don't even know what my, because I have a couple freebies out just to test, like the software and everything. I don't even know the website that they're on, but to create my account, I had to have a website of my own for my business. And I was like, in the kitchen talking to my mom, and I was like, oh, I need a website for this. And she was like, get a website then. And I was like, just like that. She's like, yeah, it's like $15 for the year for the what's it called? The domain. And I was like, okay. And since through her business she has access to servers and everything, she was like, let's do it. And within the span of like 20 minutes, I had my own page.
Wow.
And then I had to actually decorate it. I had to make it. But yeah, it's kind of stuff like that. And then, I knew I had to get on Instagram and like on the social media because that's where we all are.
Yeah.
That's, nobody pays attention to ads anymore. We all just like want to skip them as soon as possible. So I think like traditional ads just don't work. So how do you market? Um, then as part of like my field research also, I took the time to look at a lot of entrepreneurs, like people who have grown in the space, who have created big businesses out of it with multiple millions of followers. And looking at things, I was looking at my niche because that's something that also kind of troubled me a lot, was feeling like my niche was already oversaturated when, and like I feel like everybody could feel that way. And it took me like a couple of weeks of really thinking about it and being like, okay, why am I attracted to certain creators, but I can't stand others? Why would I like, and out of the entire niche, I think there's only one creator that I would actually participate in their things, in their
Yeah.
course. So then I had to like pinpoint why specifically. Why did I not like these? Why did I like this one? And then it all came down to what differentiates me from them. And I decided that I wanted to cap things. I don't want to be like like the ones that are really huge, you don't build an actual relationship with them. It's not intimate. You're
Hmm.
just a number to them. You're just a dollar bill at the end, right? You're just a client with no name, essentially. Like they don't necessarily know who you are. And I think that's a huge turnoff for me. And I think for a lot of people, which is why coaching and all of these courses get a bad rep.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I decided I really wanted to build relationships with people, make it intimate, have like small cohorts, really care about people because it's in the end, it's not about money. And it comes back to what we talked about. It's about like a passion from inside.
Hmm. And
Yeah,
providing as much value as possible.
exactly. And, you know, it's not a linear path at all, like the path to entrepreneurship and to finally putting yourself out there, because I can announce today that I've been posting reels every single day for a week now.
Amazing.
So I'm making headway slowly
Cool.
but surely. Um, yeah, but it's just really, I realized you have to be cemented in who you are and what your message is. And I don't think enough people talk about it. They talk to you about branding and about like your messaging, but it's like, what does it actually mean to you? Where does it come from? And to me, it comes down to legacy. Like it's a legacy. It's not just a business. It's a legacy of helping an entire generation of women get get what they deserve, get what they deserve in life.
Hmm.
The comfort and the security and the peace of mind. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot. This is why I'm like, I feel like we're on the same wavelength and in the same realm. Like in this digital age, I think a lot about how courses and coaches are like a main, it's such a good place to start, I think, for almost everybody, unless you want to go down like the AI, make a website, like more technical, like, I don't know, software or whatever, or make an app or something. But finding your value, putting yourself out there, creating a brand. Yeah. It also makes me think of I do this with my clients a lot. It can be super overwhelming at first, and I am really good at breaking things down to, okay, well, what are you going to do literally today? And how can we talk about this that it feels safe to you? I think I just recently heard this, like, it has to be something that feels good for your nervous system.
Yeah.
And for me, even when I think I've been thinking about this with money that I want to bring in from the business. It
Mhm.
has to be something that feels okay to me now. Because if you say it too big, then you'll kind of resist it, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. It creates like this internal cognitive dissonance, right? Where it's like, yeah, like you have to set a goal that's big enough to challenge you, but small
Yeah.
enough that it doesn't terrify you.
So that you actually do it.
Yeah.
Because if
And you
it's
don't
like too
trigger,
scary, you won't take any action.
yeah. And you'll trigger your imposter syndrome or your self doubt or all of this stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like that
Yeah.
balance or that,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, slowly
Step
moving.
by step. Hmm.
Yeah. I feel like it's bringing up
Hmm.
so many different things.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
could also keep going. Like, honestly, I could keep going. I'm
Yeah,
so
sure.
passionate about this.
Sure.
But I want to give you the space if you have like any questions or any directions you want to take this.
I know. Let me think.
No
Um,
worries.
you can go. You can say more if you have something.
I guess also like alongside finding the true purpose of it, the true reason why you're going into business and it not being money,
Yeah.
it's also cementing the fact that not everybody is your target audience, and that's a good thing. So when I was starting out, I was very scared of people not resonating with what I had to say. Like I have this one friend who I've known since high school, and he's in a very good position. His parents, his dad makes upwards of like 500,000 a year. They're good. And he has a very healthy relationship with money, which I'm so, it's the like, I think I know maybe three people total, and now four with you, who have a pretty healthy relationship with money. Um, and when I was talking to him about it, he was like, "Yeah, Vic, that sounds good, but like, I don't resonate with any of this. Like, do people actually have these wounds?" And I'm like,
Yeah.
"Yes, and you're lucky you don't because your
Yeah.
dad did the legwork because his
Mm.
dad came from nothing and built this." And he was like, "Oh, damn, I guess so." And then like, I don't know, I guess now talking about it, it doesn't seem like a big deal, but when he at first was like, "I don't resonate with this at all," I was like, maybe my message isn't that good. Like maybe I'm not right. Like it brought
Oh,
up all
yeah.
these questions. And then like I really had to zero in on the fact that like this he's not my target audience. Like I'm here to help people heal the stuff. He's already healed.
Hmm.
It's like a doctor trying to prescribe pills to someone who's perfectly healthy, you know? The
Yeah.
person is like, I don't need these pills. I don't need this medication. I don't need a treatment. Why are you bothering me? So, and getting comfortable with that. It took like a couple of weeks of really like thinking about it and embodying it, I guess, talking about it without getting not offended, but without taking it personally. It's not personal. And now I think that's been like a very big step in allowing me to show up online, show up in spaces and talk about it because I know this resonates with a lot of people. And I know a lot of people also won't resonate. And they're just lucky, like I'm grateful and happy for them that they're in a place where they don't resonate with this because it's it's not a nice place to be in. It's not a comfortable place to be in, being in the survival mode and everything. So it's just, I don't know. It's really just zeroing in on the fact that not everyone is your audience, and just because they're not your audience doesn't mean one, your message is bad, and two, they're not actually enjoying the conversation you might be having.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I think people get in their head sometimes about friends and family seeing your stuff too. And
Mm-hmm.
even with people get really like they want their friends and family to like and support and follow all of their stuff, where my
Mm-hmm.
approach is like I'm not making it for them because they already know me. And like if I had something to say to them, I would have already said it. If they want to follow, amazing. But I'm doing
Mhm.
this for all of the people that want to hear what I have to say and like are on the journey that I'm talking about, kind of thing.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's like kind of a running gag of like creating the new account and blocking everyone.
Yeah.
But it's true. It gives you the freedom to express yourself without the fear of judgment and everything. So that's what I did. It took me Instagram caps you when you block
Oh,
people.
really?
It's kind of crazy. I didn't know that until I had to do it. But I think it like after 100, like it just stops working. So
Oh,
it took me like 5 days to block everybody that I needed to block. But the payoff is worth it. It's all worth it. And the interesting thing is like starting from scratch is also amazing because you actually see who's there because of your message and who's there
yeah.
just because they have to be there.
True, true.
And especially with like the algorithms for Instagram and everything, if the people are scrolling past but just liking, just to like, just to be
Yeah.
like, yeah, I liked your video, yeah, I support your business. Like, no, you're actually screwing me right now
Thank
because
you.
the algorithm rewards it when you watch my video to the end, not when you like it, you know?
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
it's better to
That's so
put
funny.
your hands, yeah, it's better to put your message in the hands of people who actually will be interested in it. So, yeah.
I have a different approach. Even though I did consider blocking everybody at times, I didn't end up. I maybe blocked like one or two people in the middle, but then I have had so many examples of people that I would never expect following my stuff or saying something like, "Oh my gosh, thank you for saying this." And it even made me start sharing more on my personal or like sharing also I share all my stories to Facebook now too.
Mhm.
And people come over, yeah, that I wouldn't even expect that super resonate with a certain message and then they end up liking the whole page or I end up working with them as a client. So my approach is more like I'm gonna put myself out there and I'm not bothering anybody like and for some reason, I didn't really care that much about being judged anymore, but it might have been like the
Mhm.
slow exposure. But, and I was thinking about this a lot. Like the videos I put out there, they either add value or it's so easy to scroll past or mute me or unfollow me. So I feel
Yeah.
like it's only a net positive. And if, I mean, there are so many things about judgment that I'm sure you've heard before, but like if people are judging me, they're probably not where I want to be. And if they're
Mhm.
anywhere close to where I want to be, they're like, yeah, I love that you're doing this. Or if they're like starting with me, like they get it.
Mhm. Yeah. But I mean, I think it's like, I don't know. First of all, I want to say you're really brave for doing that. It's really a brave thing to do. Even like, I think in the beginning, because I did see a little bit your earlier YouTube
Oh yeah.
videos. I think in the beginning you even started on your personal page, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that takes guts, honestly. Um, But also, like, I don't know, I think it depends because I have a bunch of people on my Instagram, which I should probably purge, honestly, who I've met like here and there, or who are like who know past versions of myself, you know?
Yeah.
Like, they know me from when I was a party girl. They know me from when I was, you know,
Yeah.
broke, like all of these, broke mindset. So I don't know, but it's true. That is also something that I'm working on. Like, I am working towards a slow unblocking of like people, you know?
There's also like okay. In the beginning, actually, even like my own family is like, what are you doing? And I had to find literally like two people who were fully supporting me and got me. I also did the artist's way, which you might have seen videos on that, like which helped a lot too of how protective you have to be when you're putting yourself out there and how you cannot like as much as you can kind of shield yourself from any feedback. But
Mhm.
going through it, the people who question it now are like fully supporting it and are like, you should keep going with the social media thing. Like you're getting traction, whatever. So it's
Mhm.
interesting, like, but also that's kind of who I am. And my mom is kind of like this too. I've talked to her because she's entrepreneurial too. And she does things that people are like, what are you doing at first? And I kind of like that too, like being that trailblazer and being like my song right now is Just Keep Watching by Tate McRae. Like,
Mhm.
I'll show them one by one. Like, you think I'm crazy? You don't understand this? Like, watch me like buy a beach house in a few years or whatever.
Yeah, but it's true. My mom is also like that, like your mom, by the way. She's always like like my parents got divorced and like now she's just living her best like single life and making her money. Just she went to Mexico for her birthday with a friend, like, and then and like when we traveled last time, we traveled to the Dominican Republic.
Mhm.
We took an Airbnb. We rented a car, barely knowing any Spanish, mind you. And when we came back and like, because we didn't tell anybody about it when we were going, we are like, oh yeah, we're just going to the DR, don't worry. And then when we came back, we had all these stories, and people were like, oh my God, you're so crazy. Guess what? 6 months later, her two friends that called her crazy literally went to the same Airbnb, same everything. Talk about
Yes,
being a trailblazer. Exactly.
I
And that's
love that.
part of it too. This is just like what I'm doing right now is just me spearheading something. Like
Mhm.
this, the vision that I have for it is it's global. It's huge.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
And I just hope it gets there.
It
But
will.
yeah, and also talking about the artist way, I'm doing it too right now.
Oh my gosh, cool.
Yeah, I'm on week 5. But exactly, see, when she was talking about being super protective of your inner
Yes.
creator, right? Your inner artist, I mean, it's different for different people, right? But for me, that protection literally required
The block.
the
Yeah.
the blocking.
And yeah,
But it will come down. It will come down.
yeah,
I know
because
I
you'll be
have
global.
people.
They'll
Yeah,
see
I
you on
mean,
the
it'll
news.
have to. They'll figure it out
Catch
at
me on
some point.
TV.
Not too, maybe not TV. I don't know how I feel about traditional media, but catch me everywhere, honestly, yeah. But no, like
They'll be
I know,
covering you. You won't even be on it.
yeah, maybe I'll just be like this elusive recluse on an island with my healing center, you know.
Yes, yes.
But no, like more honestly, I do know that I have people who would support this. I do know that I have people in my, in my personal account that would benefit greatly from this and who I've even had these conversations with. I think I'm just shielding myself a little from the
Yeah.
initial cringe
And that's
of like
okay.
showing up.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And there's
Yeah.
nothing wrong with that, for sure.
Yeah.
And I've made like more private accounts in the past and stuff too.
Hmm.
I what also is helpful for me, and now I do that with my clients too, because I have clients that are starting online, being more consistent and everything, and will get feedback from people. And for me and for them, like it's so important to have like one or two people who totally get you, but then also who you can kind of work through that feedback with. Like they're saying this, they're saying it this, like, and that
Hmm.
makes me feel whatever. And then being like, okay, but I'm still doing it because of this. And having a really strong why
Yeah.
and understanding of, yeah, who you are and why you're doing this. And it doesn't need to start with, even though that is amazing that you feel like this is your legacy, I think it doesn't need, you don't need to feel that strongly about it. It could be as simple as I want to share this message with one person that would benefit. Or I want to learn how to express myself more fully, or to show myself that I have a voice and that I'll be okay and survive by posting something on a public platform today.
Yeah, I mean, that's the micro, right? That's the baby steps that I take every day. It's like, okay, we got to prop the phone up. Like, we just
Yeah.
have to share a message. It's okay. But in the grand scheme of things, it's like, it's like, what's that book? Atomic Habits, the
Hmm.
1% a day. It's the
Adds up.
1%. It's okay. But I think it helps me to be able to know that I'm not just doing it to do it because, like I
Yeah.
mentioned, I had projects before. I had the podcast, I had like my Substack where I would just show up and do it just to
Oh,
practice.
cool, cool, cool.
So I think it really helps having that vision. I think if you're past kind of, if you've already learned being
Yes,
able to
yes.
show up
Keep.
and if you've already learned being able to be comfortable communicating your
Hmm.
message, then the next step is having a direction,
Right.
right? Having something that you're building towards. So it's like on the days where you feel less motivated to do
Hmm.
it, you go, okay, but like maybe I don't care about the actual posting, but I care about this trail that I'm on, this mission that I'm on, this path,
Hmm.
the goal that I'm going towards, you know?
Hmm. For sure.
Yeah, that's why I don't know. And I also labeled it legacy, I think only 2 or 3 days ago. Up until now, I was playing around with goal and mission and
Ooh.
quest and, dream, and all of them didn't fit right. And then I really realized, like, some people want to have children, some people want to build hospitals, Some people want to write books. Like, I just really want to help an entire generation of women if possible. And I think that's legacy is a big word. Legacy is a very big word, but I'm kind of like growing into being comfortable with it.
Mhm.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
thank you.
Yeah, I think what you were saying before too about, yeah, the oversaturation, but just like there's someone told me once, like there are so many hairdressers in a city though. Like every market has a lot of people, but you're going to resonate with like the person, and there's so many people out there.
Yeah, my favorite one is with all the makeup brands that there already are, and especially like the really big players, right?
Yeah.
You still see all of these creators popping up with like their own products, like Selena Gomez and
Hmm.
Rihanna with their own lines, their own brands, their own products, and they find major success. Rihanna then became is she I don't think she's a billionaire yet, but she didn't like gain all her wealth from her music career.
Oh
She
yeah.
gained most of it from her makeup empire from her. I think she has lingerie. Anyway, if they're not afraid, if the makeup market is not oversaturated, your niche is absolutely not oversaturated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, good stuff. I feel like we're on similar journeys, sharing value. What I'm curious, just like where I'm at now with my business, like I have such a big, like large vision about like money and clients and how my business will
Mm-hmm.
grow and how I want to feel and everything. Then I have where I'm at and like a projected like amount of money that feels good.
Mm-hmm.
But do you have any advice for like expanding that or like I don't
I
know.
mean, it's the typical, it's the thing about it is like I'm not reinventing the wheel. I'm just saying it in a slightly different way. So what I go through, at least in the course, is a lot of visualization and a lot of like meditations,
Cool.
but especially writing. I'm a very big like writer. Like I really like journaling and diving really deep and having like these conversations with myself on paper.
Hmm.
Um, and I developed a workshop even through the morning pages. I like tapped into something,
Cool.
but it all was
Yeah.
me asking myself, because I was basically trying to, I was waiting, I guess, for the workshop to like magically appear in my lap, which like it doesn't work that way. And I ended up asking myself, like, if I were to host a perfect workshop, and I'm talking about in person because I think there's a lack of this kind of thing in Montreal specifically. So I want to kind of also kind of penetrate that part of it too. But anyway, I had to ask myself, like, if I were to make this perfect workshop, what would it look like?
Hmm.
Start with the venue, start with what I would say, the breath work, the meditation, everything. I think it's breaking it down into that
Yeah.
if you're just trying to figure out how to do it mentally. But if you have like an emotional internal block, something is getting triggered, something is like it's causing a little bit of stress, like a tightening in your chest, I think it helps to kind of take a breath and really start digging into why. So maybe, you're saying like you have the vision that you like the best case scenario vision
Yeah.
that you want for yourself, but then you have the level that you feel comfortable. Maybe ask why you feel comfortable at that level only, right? Is it because you need more skills? Do you actually need all those skills, or are you just afraid of charging more? Are you afraid of putting yourself out there in the way that would make you the person who can either have that number of clients to achieve your goal,
Yeah.
or like put yourself in a position where you are actually an authority on the matter? You can actually charge the actual amount that you want to charge, right?
Hmm.
And it's like a lot of us are just so afraid of charging what's actually a fair price.
Yeah.
So I don't know which like specifically your problem is.
Maybe a little bit of that, like still racking up the experience of like and belief that this is the right amount to charge kind of thing. And then also I've been thinking about like expanding my capacity. And I think some of it's belief and some of it is just normal you're growing and you're figuring out as you go, as I get like my systems and structure in place and like
Mhm.
um over time, like this amount of clients feels good, but more feels scary. But then once I get used to this, it will come naturally. That I'm like, okay, cool, I can add one more, two more.
Yeah, it does make sense. Like just to get used to the workload, to get used
Yeah.
to
And the
having
cadence.
the responsibility, right,
Yeah,
for your nervous system and everything. That's why I kind of said it depends whether it's like really like a plan thing where you have to
true.
grow into it versus where it's just like this feeling inside. And that's where like I'm a really big what's it called? Advocate for knowing yourself, for getting comfortable with yourself. Like that's what you have to do in your 20s as soon as possible. And it comes through really thinking about these kinds of things. And yeah, but I would probably have you tap into who you would be as your goal person, like the big goal there. And maybe even Emily. Oh, okay.
Oh, it,
It froze.
yeah. Something happened
Um,
with my Wi-Fi. You're saying tap into who I would be as my goal person?
yeah, so it's not anything new, but it's basically sitting down with yourself, maybe, taking a few breaths and going, okay, my future, my goal self, my in
Yeah.
5 years, let's say, who I want to be is this person. She walks like this, she carries herself with grace when she shows up, her she like it's literally like painting a picture with your words with the journaling.
Yeah.
She walks into a space and she she doesn't shrink, she's not shy or I don't know. She wears specific clothing. She wears a specific style. This is what a day in her life looks like. She makes time for her morning pages, for her coffee. She has slow mornings. She
Hmm.
goes to the spa every week. She takes care of herself. She takes her vitamins. She eats organic. I think
Yeah.
when you get into the details, like the really, really, really tiny, minuscule, everyday things, it really helps you, and this is part of my course too, is like a little workshop that I have in there,
Cool.
is it helps you humanize that version of yourself. And
Okay.
then you can start taking the tiny steps to become that person, right? Like example, if she's like a strict businesswoman, right? And she's the boss babe. She wears, uh like pantsuits and like with the skirts and she wears heels. Maybe you're at a place right now where you're not even comfortable wearing heels yet. You can't walk more than 20 minutes in heels.
Yeah.
But your ideal version of yourself walks in heels all day. She's going click clack down like the tile corridor in her huge law firm or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, Start walking in heels. Your posture shifts, your demeanor shifts when you walk in heels. You start slowly adopting her mannerisms, her way of being. So it's that slow becoming. And then what I've noticed is before long, you become that person. And like, at least for me, oftentimes it takes you by surprise. It takes you by surprise just how quickly you've shifted into this new you, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what I would do.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
I
of
will journal
course.
on that. I've been doing visualizations like every morning, and sometimes I get kind of stuck when I'm just thinking of it lately. And I
Mhm.
think it would be good for me to do in detail who I am and
Yeah,
not
like you
just like what
can.
my day is, but yeah, who am I? How do I feel? What do
Mhm.
I do?
Yeah, the and also what values you hold, what kind of person you are, how you interact with people. Because maybe an unconscious block you have is who you would become. Like if continuing with the boss babe lawyer with her own law firm, let's say,
Mhm.
maybe what blocks her is she has a subconscious program, pattern, belief, whatever you want to call it, that if she's a boss babe, she's going to also be a cold hearted person, right? She subconsciously, maybe subconsciously, there's like a correlation between her being a successful, top notch lawyer and her becoming bossy, her becoming unliked, right? That's very much a stereotype in media where the moment a woman becomes like a boss or like has money or something, she
Hmm.
becomes more cold hearted, more calculated, less liked. Maybe internally there's that kind of pattern, yeah. And then you would recognize it without even really going that deep into it. If you just, again, try to do the visualization and you go,
Yeah.
okay, how do I interact with my employees? Let's say it's my law firm. She's walking with her clicky clacking heels, her little, I don't know, files in her hand and her coffee, and she's smiling at everybody and everybody's greeting her, right? She is a warm person. She is a boss that people want to work for because those people exist, right?
Hmm.
um so I think there's a lot of value in all of the nitty gritty, like I said.
Yeah.
um and just if you're doing it every morning, that's great because you already have the habit. It's just making it, tuning it in, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And maybe every day it can be like a different facet of her life, right? It could
Ooh.
be like when she goes home at night, does she come home to her cat, to her dog, to a husband, to
Yeah.
children? Is her home like, is she living in a penthouse with a beautiful
Oh,
view of the skyline? Does she have like roses that she bought for herself? Does an admirer send her
oh my
roses?
gosh.
Is she cooking herself a dinner, or did she pick up sushi on the way home, or is she going home to a cozy home in a beautiful neighborhood with family, right? It's like all of these things, and it really humanizes that person. Otherwise you have them on a pedestal and it's like this
You're far.
cold, like, exactly, there's this distance.
Wow. So
Yeah.
good. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Um, yeah, we only have a few minutes left, but
Yeah.
I'm so glad that we did this.
Me too. It's very good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything else for the recording or
I mean, yeah, I guess like going off of everything that I just said about the visualization and the nitty gritty,
yeah.
it's, you have the vision, and I guess it wraps up the whole thing is have the vision, have the direction, have the message, have the why,
Hmm.
and then focus on the 1%. Focus on
Yeah.
all of the tiny little things that build up this huge dream, like a painting, right? Every
Mhm.
single tiny stroke builds it up.
Yeah.
So you can't expect to paint a painting overnight, just have it appear. You have to put in the little efforts, the strokes, the little glints of light and everything. So yeah. And finding joy in creating it, finding joy in implementing all of those tiny little changes. That's
And
it.
that the painting is possible and like you can make whatever painting you want.
Absolutely. I mean, there's no shortage of wonderful people who have clawed their way to the top, right? Or not to the top, but who have found tremendous success
Yeah.
from nothing. Um, so I think just shifting your focus into that is also very powerful.
Yay.